the biggest necessity that you need for your next trip is having a good hat. Now, I found it very hard to find a good hat, but I finally found one, and that's what I have right here. It's what I like to call the most of the coverage is sun, non-existent, stylish, 10 out of 10, and just to make sure that it doesn't fall off your head, a neck strappy thing. So that's the most important thing that you have to make sure that you have on your next trip away. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's pretty rainy, pretty windy today, so I'm not really going to be going anywhere, but I thought no better time than being stuck inside than to plan your next trip away. So I thought, let's go through my thought process. I know a lot of this stuff's going to be very basic, the sort of stuff you're meant to do when you plan a trip. But just going through the sort of stuff I think about and I plan when I plan a little trip away. I'm going to use the example of my recent trip to Albany with my mates Cam and John Luke. And if you haven't watched that, you can find that above. But yeah, let's get into it. So obviously, first thing you're going to need to know is location. Where are you going to go? How far away are you going to go? Albany for us was like 5 hours away. I think 5 hours. If it's wrong, I'll put it up here. But yeah, so finding a distance you're willing to go and finding that general location. So for us, that was Albany. But I go beyond that. I would go beyond just saying, oh, cool, I'm going to go to Albany and I'm going to stay here. I want to have a rough idea of the kind of things that I want to do. I don't like over planning, like saying we're going to do this, 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 and this. I like to have a list of stuff, of places I want to go. So then I group them into locations, which is the next sort of thing. So we have 3 general locations for this trip in Albany. The first being the main Albany town centre and the national park close to that has the gap and the natural bridge and the stuff that people know from there. The next being the Stirling Ranges, which you can see we got to climb Bluff Knoll and Mount Toolbin and those sorts of things. The last being Two People's Bay, which is a bit further away. So we got to go see some beaches that I had never seen before. And I even got to take the photo that you can see right behind you. Anyway, so we had those 3 separate locations and I planned things around that rather than just one. What that means is, sure, you have to think about it a bit more, but you get more in a day. You're not constantly doing things. What it means is you're not going fishing here, cycling here, eating here, staying here, climbing here. Everything's happening in central locations. So what it means is you actually get more chill time in between those things because you're in a set location, and you just get to enjoy the fullness, some more of the fullness of a set area rather than just being all over the place constantly. So we started in the Stirling Ranges on our way in, and then we went to Albany, explored that sort of area. Then the next day we went to the Two People's Bay area, explored that, took all of that stuff that we could during that time period. And then next we headed off to the Stirling Ranges again on our way out. Stayed there the night before that, climbed it during the day, came back, left. So sure, we didn't do all of it in a go. We kind of half the Stirling Ranges to on the way in and on the way out. But I'd say we got a pretty good filling of those areas during that time. So that's it. That's kind of how I process where to go, is having grouped locations. The next thing being where to stay. Now, where to stay is going to be pretty subjective to you and what your comfort's like. Some people don't mind camping. Other people really want to be able to stay in a hotel, a nice bed, or even somewhere super fancy. For me, I don't really care. I'll sleep on a swag on the side of the road. In fact, that morning, the first morning of our trip down in Albany, I slept in the boot of a car. So yeah, the comfort isn't really the first thing that I think about. But it might be for you. So for us, we chose sleeping locations close to where we were currently or where we were planning to spend most of our time the next day. So we slept, near the bottoms of mountains or at the Mount Trio bush camp and caravan park before we climbed the next mountain, Mount Toolbana. We stayed at a friend's place in Albany when we were planning to stay and a lot more time in Albany. So choose around that. If you don't want to have multiple places you're staying and just have the one location, choose somewhere that's going to be central to where you want to go. But yeah, if you do want to be more fancy and you don't want to, then, like for this location, there's plenty of farm stays. I'm sure there's some Airbnbs. There's definitely some hotels, and some fancier places you could stay in. So look around, find those locations. Don't just restrict yourself to what I tell you. Obviously, your location's more likely to be different than just Albany. So yeah, and then the rest of the stuff that I think about is kind of like I'm a little bit more chill with. I don't want to be super planny with my trips, but I want to have a main idea. So when it comes to food, if you're going to a location that doesn't have a lot of towns, there's not a lot of people, you're obviously going to have to plan your food for the whole trip and seek that out, right? For us, we'd see how we go. We'd just find, restaurants, cafes, or go buy some stuff to barbecue for a night. We were pretty lenient, and that's how I like doing it. I like being able to go with the flow with that kind of stuff. Yeah, I just like to be chill with food. But obviously I'll buy some snacks and pack some snacks as, just in case we don't have much during this whole period of time. Plus, like, snacks are just good. Anyway, some of the other nitty gritty stuff, like, planning around certain times of the year and weather, and like how you pack clothes. That's important too. So, often weather can be all over the place, so make sure you watch coming up to the date and pack around that, which I don't think you need me to tell you that. I think you should already know that that's the case. Do little bits of research. You can find stuff on different Facebook pages and stuff about what stuff's like during certain times of the year, because sometimes it may surprise you, sometimes it may be quite different to what the forecast may tell you. So keep that in mind. In terms of like packing necessities, obviously a camera is a necessity, especially for me, because like I want to be able to take photos and like videos as well, obviously, but yeah, and then a torch. And I wrote that on my list, but the amount of times I've gone somewhere, gotten a torch and needed one is ridiculous, so just bring a torch. But yeah, that's kind of going through my mental process into how to plan trips I go away, specifically the sort of 2-3 day ones. So I hope that helps. If anything, I just hope it gets you excited. I hope it makes you start thinking about where you can go next, what you can do next, maybe even go to Albany. But yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle of planning my next trip away. I won't tell you just yet, but it's gonna be sick. I can't wait to get there. It's gonna be a bit longer than some of my others, so that's also gonna be quite exciting. Anyway, I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please please subscribe if you haven't. And stay tuned, we've got videos coming every week. I'm keeping them going, even the days where it's super rainy and windy. So yeah, enjoy your week, and I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.